Great to be with you. All right, let's point out, it's 365 days to Jason's next birthday because...
How about that?
Because leap year.
I know.
That's why I'm accurate on that. Yesterday was your birthday. So, from the entire audience to you, happy birthday. Okay, great. And how was it? Was it great?
Good. It was good. It's quiet but good. Yeah. Watched football. Didn't do much.
Yeah. All those threatening emails to Christian McCaffrey. Could you score 4 touchdowns on my birthday?
I'll tell you. How about it? And he obliged. I don't know if he rolled his eyes. I'm not sure what he did, but he obliged.
Perfect. So now we start out with 49 good San Francisco seconds.
Oh, I think you got to go with that. Everything that he has done since he has come to this team, this is a much different team with him. A completely different team, and obviously easily a contender with him, and well worth the trade of a second, third, and fourth round pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm trying to think what they traded for Trey Lance, so I guess not all of them worked out.
No. Yes, the worst part about that, though, right now is you're looking at it. Well, obviously they got really lucky with Brock Purdy, but you're looking at what they could have drafted not named Trey Lance. The options at quarterback weren't better at this point.
Oh, no.
They weren't. Mac Jones was benched yesterday.
No.
Justin Fields hasn't won a game in a long time.
But you know what? Can I say something in fairness to Justin Fields? There are too many NFL coaches or coordinators that have an offense in their way of doing things. You know what the most important thing you need to do on that level is you need to adapt your offense to what your personnel can do. The Bears need to adapt their offense to what Justin Fields can and can't do. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to win. I'm not saying that. But they need to, but they're making him do things that, are not quite in his comfort zone as to what he does. Just do it. That's what he does. Let him do it. Right? Design some stuff around that. Don't be so steadfast, this is how we do it. And we see this with a lot of quarterbacks in the league. And is Fields a great quarterback? No. Can he be a good quarterback in the NFL?
Sure.
Right? And these guys get kicked to the curb. Let's face it. Let's pick a guy that got kicked to the curb. And guess what? Has actually gone someplace else and has done fine for himself. And that's Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they threw him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Rams threw him out.
Yeah, and he took him to a Super Bowl. Now, granted, that team was very good. Yeah, he had that was Todd Gurley in his prime, which was a lot better. But yeah. I think to me, Goff was. I think that's to your point. Absolutely. I think if you put him in a situation that caters to him in terms of the system, especially, he's going to be good. He thrives. He did it in Los Angeles initially, did it real well, and then comes to Detroit. And Campbell has obviously done an unbelievable job with that team. Completely changed the culture, completely turned that team around, and Goff's a big part of it.
They play power football.
Yep.
Which allows him then to do play-action football. He's got some good receivers. St. Brown's very good. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But Detroit wins the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, usually. What's interesting is that if I'm Philadelphia, which has been good, not great to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4-0, but they've been good.
They have issues, yeah. There's no doubt. I think Swift has made them better on offense. Carter's made them better on defense.
The two teams they do not want to face if they get down the road in the playoffs, if things continue this way, the Cowboys would not be one of them.
I think so.
Okay? It would be the 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Because the Detroit Lions can own the line of scrimmage, and in doing so can eat up the clock, and suddenly you're looking around going, well, why are we playing from behind? But yesterday was a day where Of course, Detroit won on Thursday night, dominated both sides.
Yep.
I've got to tell you a quick Sean Clifford story. Saw Sean on Friday night. And, of course, Sean was on the bench Thursday night as Jordan Love was out there trying to bring the Packers back, but they could not get all the way back in the game. And he said the fans at Lambeau started chanting, "We want Clifford, we want Clifford." He said, geez, he's talking to Jack Ham and myself. He says, geez, guys. So for a second, I was like, hey, all right. He said, then I thought, all those times they chanted, "We want Aller, we want Levis." Mm-hmm. He says, I sat there and went, Jordan, hang in there. I know how it feels. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well, yeah, backup quarterback's always going to be the most popular guy. There's no question about it. You see that pretty much on every team, and you've seen. I would not doubt at some point between 2002 and 2018. Well, yeah, we did see it. That Tom Brady was under. Yeah, they were blown out by the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
On Monday Night Football, they wanted Garoppolo.
Everybody wanted Garoppolo. Yeah, absolutely. And you see it no matter who is the quarterback. You saw it with Joe Montana several times with Joe Montana. You see it with absolutely everybody, no matter who they are at the quarterback position. That the backup quarterback is going to be the most popular guy on the roster.
Right. But I just thought it was funny, and he's laughing about it with us.
That's good. That's absolutely good.
Oh, yeah. No, we were, look, Jack and I are thrilled for him. Because, look, the guy's worked hard. He's a great guy. And you should have seen when the team saw him, they're all running up, embracing him, hugging him, the whole thing. Like, it's, look, very popular, by the way, with his teammates. And same story up in Green Bay. Appears to be very popular with his teammates. He's earned his spot.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. And Green Bay is fortunate to have him in the sense that you have, I don't want to say a veteran presence, but you have somebody that has been around. You're not talking about a guy that left school after 3 years, didn't really see a lot of playing time, so I had one big year and fed off that year. You're looking at a guy that has been in a lot of situations in college football that are going to be similar to what he faces in pro football. Obviously, the game is going to be different. The speed of the game is going to be different, but you're going to be in those big spots just like he was in college football. There's a big difference to a guy that's 24, 25 years old being a backup quarterback than a guy that's 18 years old that hasn't really seen the situation. Trey Lance is a prime example of that. He did not play a lot of football, and right now he's third on the depth chart in Dallas.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the game on Saturday. James Franklin had talked all week about this. Got to bring your own juice, got to bring your own juice. Let's start with this part, though. The defense out of the gate brought its own juice. Mm-hmm. I mean, the scenario that you sit back and go, oh, after all this talk all week about bringing your own juice and you fumble the opening kickoff. Oh. No. But the defense comes out and they get a minus 1 yard out of it. -1. They have to get a field goal. The first 11 drives in the game, Northwestern had 13 drives. The first 11 drives Northwestern had, 9 of those 11 were 9 yards or less. Felt like the defense brought its own juice.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, offensively, let's dispel something here very quickly. I've actually had people come up to me and say, Nick Singleton looks slow. He looks slow. Really? Looks slow. Slow.
Nothing to do with teams adjusting to your second year and seeing you on film.
Well, but it's a whole thing. You've got to get
you got to get blocking. You got to get outside when you can.
And I will say this: Hunter Norzad and Olu Fashanu have been
incredible.
I mean, those two have been outstanding.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to get the blocks, the creases, things like that. On Friday, he's chipped up. They all are chipped during the week, but chipped where you can see like the numbers. They were just doing warm-up sprints. Right? Kind of build up. 21.78 miles per hour. You're right. He's slow. What are we doing here? As I sit back and I just look around and go, oh, okay. I mean, I hear some of the most ridiculous stuff where I sit there and go, okay. That's what you think? Okay. Very nice. You have to have creases to run. All right. So I mean, it's not just the offensive line. The tight ends have got to get involved and really get physical, and that makes a big difference in terms of the plays that you get. But he ran for some tough yards in the game. He's been catching the ball.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. I think using him as a receiver, get him out in the flat like that is huge.
6 catches in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including a touchdown catch. And he's been showing, you can tell in the offseason, and when Jack Ham and I talked with Nicholas on the postgame show 3 weeks ago, maybe it was, and we talked about what he did in the offseason to become a better pass receiver. And he said he spent a lot of time working with the wide receivers. A lot of work on the jugs gun, a lot of work in the passing game with Bo, Drew, and Jackson. And he said, because you can always tell a guy is confident in catching the ball by how they catch the ball. Guys that are not confident become more what I refer to as body catchers. Okay? Guys that are confident have the hands out, right, ready to make that catch. And you can see by the way he's catching the ball, it's made a big difference. Was Drew Aller just off on a couple of passes? Yeah, just off. And I'm talking just off. Easily correctable. Not an issue there. Just a little bit off. We just missed a couple of third down plays. And Penn State was in the game, what were they, 8 of 19 on third down, something like that. Right now, Penn State on third down in less than 4 is better than 60%. And on third down at 5+, they're better than 35%. You're doing that, you're really doing the job on third down. Really doing the job. You want to know what the number is against Penn State on 3rd and 5 or better? 21%. That's up, by the way, from 17% because they had those 2 longer runs, especially late in the game, where it's like the quarterback took off and ran. Okay, great, good. Was it Brendan Sullivan?
Yep.
Like, okay. Plus Bryant got one earlier too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, come on. It's like watching Hartman in the Duke game. It's like, it's playing the theme to Chariots of Fire. Nobody from Duke is closing on the guy. It's like, let's go here. Come on. So they've been working. They haven't had everybody healthy in the wide receiver group, as we all know.
Yeah.
As you know, Malik. Everybody's on the list. Malik Mega's questionable.
Wallace.
Harrison Wallace was questionable. Okay. And, neither one ended up playing. Now, Amari Evans is playing more. He's finally getting into the mix. He played 32 plays on Saturday. And Liam Clifford. Keandre Lambert-Smith's performed at a high level. Love how the tight ends catch the ball to this point. Trey Potts stepped in when they needed him. This is the value of your depth. This is your depth right there that we've talked about over and over again. When J.B. Nelson went down, Vega Ioane was already, okay, Vega Ioane is set to go. Right? He'd already played a lot during the season, so he's able to step into that left guard spot when Nelson went down. Katron Allen goes down, you got Trey Potts. Trey Potts gained over 1,100 yards rushing in his career at Minnesota. He has been the perfect attitude guy. Mm-hmm. since he got here. He is a great guy to talk to. Not a good guy to talk to. Great guy to talk to.
Williamsport guy, too. Fully understands the situation, understands
he wanted,
Penn State football.
Two things he wanted. He wanted to play closer to home, 60 miles away, and he wanted to win. Well, he's playing closer to home, and he is helping them win. This is where depth comes in. There are going to be some games where you're not going to need it. And then there are going to be some games where you need it. Ioane stepped in, did his job at left guard. Potts stepped in, did his job. Zane Durant defensively played a tremendous game.
Sure did.
They could not handle him at all. Zariah Fisher, denied Dennis Sutton. Adisa Isaac continues. Adisa Isaac needs to get more run here. I mean, I know at some point, whether it's the talk show, the pregame show, quarterback club, I'm going to talk to James more about Adisa Isaac. Older player who's gone out, overcome injury. He's overcome a lot in his life to get to this point.
And they missed him. I think you go back to week 1, they missed him. They certainly missed Adisa Isaac not being.
He's just a heck of a player.
And not being in there. I think very clearly. I think the depth.
Well, let me give you an area where Isaac is really good. There's a lot of areas he's really good. He's become just a terrific all-around player.
Yeah.
So, when you watch Penn State, and Manny Diaz dials up a lot of different stuff, and he can do that because his corners are good.
Yeah.
His corners are really good.
Yeah.
And you know what really makes the corners good? Not just their cover skills, which is obvious.
Yeah, the pass rush.
Okay. Well, for one thing, Dixon is excellent at timing up blitzes.
Incredible. Yep.
But they're both good against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Sure are. Kalen King misses a lot of tackles. I'm going, what? Okay. You're not going to be perfect.
No. And you can miss a tackle and still make the play. You slow up the guy in the backfield, that's making the play instantly.
King and Dixon play the run really well.
They do.
But you can turn the other 9 guys loose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're getting corner play like that.
Yeah, and I think
so. Let's get back to Isaac for a moment.
Yep.
I'll finish the point.
Sure.
When Manny decides to go zone blitz, and we've watched this for 2 years now, so that means you are sending somebody else and taking, in this case, a defensive end, and you're dropping that defensive end into coverage. So you may be rushing 5, but you're still covering with 6 because you're dropping the end. Isaac is really good at it. He gets himself into a spot, gets the right depth of drop, and he plays it really well. He's just a really good player. KJ Winston had a good game. And props, by the way, to Zion Tracy and Tony Rojas on the fake punt. Tracy comes over, hits him, and trips him up, and Rojas cleaned him up short of the mark, and that was one of the big plays in the game. Mm-hmm. It's one of the big plays in the game.
Yeah.
No question. And Zion, 2 freshmen, Zion Tracy, Tony Rojas combined on that play to make that play. So that was big. It's also the best game Riley Thompson had punting the ball. Mm-hmm. Best punt of the day was that 50-yard punt that pinned them deep. Alex Felkins hit both field goals. I felt when Penn State stopped, I think it was Zane Durant that stopped it on the 4th down play.
Sneak. Yep.
It was 17-10 at the time. And Penn State ended up getting a 3-and-out and had to kick the field goal. Felkins hit the 47-yard field goal, and that was big on a couple of areas. One, you get something like that to happen, and you got points out of it.
Yep.
Because it would have been an emotional plus for Northwestern. Like, if you missed the kick, okay, we went for it, we got, and they still didn't score. Falcons made sure they scored on that.
On a tough snap, too.
Right?
Yep.
But he made sure they scored.
Yep.
Right? And they got the 3 points, and they gave him a 2-possession advantage at that point. And now you're starting to feel the game is now starting to gain. You've won the middle 8. You scored on your opening drive of the third quarter. It's the third time in 5 games they've come out of the gate in the third quarter and scored a touchdown. Now you get this play. Now you're up 2 possessions. Now you're gaining control of the game, and those were big points in the game. So you had something profound to say.
No, you hit it right on it. And I think the one thing with you also add with Manny Diaz is I thought the biggest point. Well, going to touch on Diaz in a second here, but one of the biggest points to me, that 4th down, the sneak, you stop him. You get points out of it. That was huge because that took the 2-score lead. And then, the fake punt, just an unbelievable play. Yeah. Broas and Tracy making that play. Tracy getting off a block.
Zion Tracy comes flying from the side. Absolutely. He's the one that tripped him up, Tracy, but then Rojas cleaned him up to make sure he didn't get there.
Yeah, Tracy getting off the block because the hole was there. And if Tracy doesn't get off that's a first down. And there you get the touchdown, 27-10 lead. I think the advantage of having that depth and the advantage of having that freshness that defense, Manny Diaz can dial up what he wants to dial up. You have those exotic packages where, okay, I'm going to trust you guys are going to get a rush. And you get that rush, that's not going to allow the big play. And that, I think, has been the biggest thing for what they've been able to do. That depth, that fresh legs has helped a lot when it comes to that, when it comes to the pass rush in a big way. Does it have to be better? Of course it does. You're never perfect through 5 games. But I think the defense getting in the backfield, 12 tackles for a loss on Saturday has been huge throughout the year, and it got even better on Saturday. I think that they continue to build on that, and I like what James Franklin said there, where they're using it as a bye week. It's not an off week; it's a bye week, and they're going to clean up a few things. And right now, that defense.
You take time, you self-scout.
Absolutely, you self-scout, and you can even, and a bye week, you can look ahead. You can't go too far, but you could look ahead in a bye week because you're not preparing for an opponent. Then when preparation comes next week, it's UMass and only UMass. But I think you can look ahead in the bye week. But in terms of the defensive play calling, Manny Diaz can do what he wants to do because of that depth. He has that depth in there. You're able to be a lot more productive. And this defense is feeding off of that. You get 12 tackles for a loss and 7 sacks. That's a big game.
Yeah, no, it is a big game. It's spread out.
Yeah.
But Durant had some great numbers in the game. Played well.
He had 3 tackles for a loss alone.
Isaac played really well.
Yeah. Yeah, a healthy Isaac, I think, is huge. You go back to that first game, I thought they struggled a little bit. And look, it's first game. You never judge somebody based on the first game. There are a lot of things you have to clean up after game 1. If you're perfect game 1, you're an instant contender that minute, no looking back. Yep. There were obviously some things they had to clean up, and the biggest thing to me first half was stopping the run, and I think Isaac being in there now, you missed him a little bit, I think, in that game.
Yeah, well, you know what? They're 5-0 with the bye week. Are there things that James Franklin can emphasize to his team that you have to clean up to be a better team? Absolutely. And that's good. I mean, look, it's interesting. People, the sleepy start, 11 a.m. Well, okay, you know what? Let's give Northwestern credit.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to go with it.
Nobody wants to give them credit for doing it.
Especially coming off the week previous that they were coming off of.
They won the game, rallying from 21 down,
which was huge.
Winning overtime.
Yeah.
So darn well their practice had a lot of jump to it during the week. They get the big break on the opening kickoff. You should have seen that sideline going nuts. They're going crazy. And slowly but surely, and Penn State getting the touchdown before the end of the half was really big.
Yep.
And that's why James Franklin, he was on with Brian Tripp at halftime. And he said, he was very calm, cool, collected. Matter of fact, he said, quote, "We're in a good place."
Yep. Said the same thing on BTN. Yep.
Yeah. We're in a good place.
Yep.
Okay. It's fine. Jack and I looked at each other. Okay. Next. Came out of the half. Stopped him. Put a drive together. All right. Third time in 5 games have taken in the second half, the opening drive of the second half's been a touchdown. And went from there. The Bo Prabula play. I am totally confused. Because I had a couple of people come up to me and says, boy, he was faking taking a knee. I said, what are you talking about taking? Because I don't go back and watch the TV broadcast. No offense, I don't really care what. No, I already watched the game once. There's something I need to see that I'm not sure about. I'll go back and look at it, but I'll look at like the all 22 when I do that, But they were saying that, is Dean Blandino the
officials, yep.
The official guy? Because I guess Mike Pereira's out this year.
Right.
Not because he's out. Mike Pereira, because of a physical problem, is not on this year. He'll be back next year. And they were talking about faking a knee. How much football have you guys watched? I mean, when Prabula went back, came in the game, somebody had asked in the pregame show, great question from a fan, great question, said about him throwing the ball more when he gets in. Excellent point. So he comes in, and the first thing that Jack and I brought up on the broadcast happened to be, well, pregame show, they asked whether he's going to throw the ball or run the quarterback draw. Let's see if it's the quarterback, let's see if it's the quarterback draw. Right? Yep. Late in the game, goes back, fakes the quarterback draw.
Yep.
And that's how I referred to it on the call. I said, fakes the quarterback draw. All right. Which was a great fake.
Yep.
Right? And goes back, throws it, hits Trey Potts over the middle, and Potts scores 30 yards.
The same type of fake you will see frequently with a guy that runs an RPO, is a quarterback that runs an RPO and backs up like that. He's going to fake the draw in exactly that same manner, take a step back, and throw.
Michael Robinson and Darryl Clark were both excellent at it. Bo's excellent at it.
Yeah.
And then yesterday somebody said, boy, that fake knee play. I looked over and go, what fake knee play?
Yeah.
I said, they didn't run a fake knee play. Oh, yeah, they were talking about it on the broadcast. They faked the knee. I said, what are you talking about? You faked the quarterback draw.
Yeah. And like I said, you see that time and time again. It's not something that's and
the two guys I was talking to, this has nothing to do with what they thought. No. They're talking about what the TV guy said.
Yeah.
I said, really?
Yeah. Makes no sense.
I said, how could you not know? I don't understand how you could not know.
No, exactly.
Because quarterback draw.
Yeah, it happens often. It's not, when you have a mobile quarterback back there that runs that type of offense, that happens. That's not a fake knee.
You've got 4 games of tape where Bo Prabula's running the quarterback draw.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
and to sell that draw, you're going to pause and you're going to back up that exact same way.
And again, it wasn't these two guys saying it. They were telling me what was said.
Yeah.
He said, and they went over it with the rules analyst. I said, on a fake quarterback draw, they went over it with the rules analyst? I said, why?
Yeah, that's no sense. Absolutely makes no sense.
Over here in the back, stop thinking.
Yeah. You go back to
you're overthinking things.
Absolutely. You go back to Kenny Pickett's fake slide, and now that was a fake slide, clear as day.
Sure it was.
And they take that, and they put that on 17 different plays now. Oh, fake handoff, fake knee, fake giving yourself up. It's ridiculous. That's... If you've seen, and Dean Blandino knows better in that spot too. Come on, he's seen enough football where absolutely.
Here's the spot he's in.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, there is no way in heck he has ever seen Bo Prabula play before.
That's true.
No way in heck has he ever seen Bo Prabula play. Well, I think Fox did do one game, right?
Yeah, they did the Illinois game.
The Illinois game. So, but there were no calls in that game where they needed to go to the rules analyst. So it was probably just on the background compared to other, like an FS1 game or something like that. So he doesn't know Bo runs a lot of quarterback draws. Right? He doesn't know that. Because he doesn't. But he's not there watching Penn State football. He's watching a lot of other things. He's watching a lot of NFL during the course of the week. He probably can.
And that's where I think he
can probably tell you chapter and verse.
Yeah.
What Mac Jones does, he can tell you chapter and verse. What Patrick Mahomes does, Tua Tagovailoa, whomever.
Right.
Okay? Josh Allen. The guy that's the number 2 quarterback at Penn State, he probably does not really know what he does or doesn't do. So I'm just saying, I'm just being fair to him on a play like that. I think it's unfair of the guys that
in the booth
that know what he does and doesn't do, or at least they should, because neither one of them has done a Penn State game,
right?
To know what he does. Because I'm not going to sit there. I saw Sullivan on tape, so I knew he could run,
right?
But
I'm
not going to sit there and. I saw all 5 of their quarterbacks on tape.
Right.
Because Lausch plays.
Well, I was going to say Lausch plays,
Lausch plays. Linsky started last year in Beaver Stadium. Freeman, has played the least of the group. And it's pathetic I'm sitting here knowing all 5.
That's all right. I remember Linsky last year in the pouring rain.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think, though, when you look at it with Bo, the quarterback draw, the biggest thing to me on that pass is selling the quarterback draw as well as he did.
That's the whole point
of
the play.
When you back up like that, you're selling the quarterback draw. You're not faking a knee.
The guy puts together a play of near perfect execution.
Yes.
Okay? Takes the snap.
And you've got to sell it, which he did.
Sells the fake beautifully.
Yes.
Drops back, throws a really nice pass over the middle. Potts goes up a little bit, makes the catch, takes it home for 30 yards out. And these guys are debating whether he faked taking a knee. What do you think?
That's somebody that's never seen a quarterback draw. Honestly, I heard that's where I'm baffled by it.
I was baffled by it when they told me that. I'm like, going,
you see it? Any quarterback that runs an RPO and does it well is going to sell that and is going to do that exact same move. Like it's not anything out of the ordinary. Like we've seen, and granted, we might have been spoiled because we've seen so many in high school and college. But I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now.
And I know, look, it's a 34-13 game, so I don't.
I get that part. I get that part. You want to get on anybody for that? Go for it. But I'm talking about the.
I don't mind.
I don't never mind it. Even the backup quarterback. You have a backup quarterback in the game.
Backup quarterback, your third string running back's the guy that made the catch.
I have no problem with that.
Come on.
But
the other personnel in the game included Malik McClain was in the game. They had they'd gone a little deeper in the
Right. But you want to anybody? I don't care. Anyone wants to question that? Just argue it all you want.
In fact, nobody's questioned that part.
Nobody to me has. But it's the part. It's just the part of the draw. Like I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now. I think when we've seen enough. In terms of especially high school and college quarterbacks, a lot of quarterbacks that haven't made it pro, where they do that unorthodox throw, where you fake the quarterback draw, back up, the exact same way. I have no idea where you're getting a fake knee out of that. None.
What gets me is they debated it.
Yeah.
Now, can he go back and as he fakes the quarterback draw, maybe overdo it and the knee touches the ground?
And the knee touches the ground, maybe.
Maybe, but that's you just sit back.
But it baffled me. I'm still.
Well, I was told about it. I haven't seen it.
Well, I'd heard about it too, and
I have not seen it. Tim Wakefield.
Yeah.
Passed away yesterday at the age of 57, brain cancer. He was an outfielder in the Pirates organization, and they transitioned him over to being a knuckleball pitcher. They get all the credit for doing that. When they got to the playoffs in 91, I'm trying to think what year was it, 92?
92, I think.
92.
Yeah, I think it was 92.
He was terrific.
Real good.
Right. It's a different kind of pitch. At that point, I think Charlie Huff was still pitching at that time.
Yep.
There were only a couple guys throwing it. Then eventually, in Pittsburgh, it finally lost the effectiveness of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he went to Boston. Literally Boston picked him up off the scrap heap. And Phil Niekro, every single time that knuckleball just a little bit off, he'd work with Niekro. And all of a sudden, he'd be good for 2 months, 3 months. This guy was an all-star. When the Red Sox finally broke through and won the 2004 World Series, he was the pitcher in Game 1. Now, he wasn't the winning pitcher, but he was the opening night starter in Game 1 of the World Series.
In a game that they won. He won the winning
right, they won the game 9-7. Mark Bellhorn hit a home run off the pole to win the game for them. And in the game, the Red Sox were up 7-2. So it's like,
exactly.
Right, and then Manny Ramirez had a train wreck in left
Complete
field.
Train wreck.
Like, what are we doing here? And Manny, I better make up for it, drove in a run. It's like, okay, way to go. Way to get us back in it. But the reason they won in 2004 in the playoffs is because of what he did in a rout. And it tells you everything about Tim Wakefield, the teammate. This is why you're seeing he was beloved. Beloved by his managers, beloved by his teammates, whether it's Pittsburgh or Boston, beloved by the fans. Right? I mean, beloved.
Yes.
In Game 3 of the American League Championship Series, the Red Sox are down 2-0. The Yankees come into Fenway Park, and they blow the Red Sox out 19-8. He takes the ball in, I don't know, the 6th, 7th inning, whatever, and he tells Terry Francona, don't take me out. No matter what happens, I'm finishing the game for you, no matter what happens. Okay? He says, we need to save the bullpen. And he took the beating, finished it out, and they won that series because he saved the bullpen. Yeah, there's great moments where Dave Roberts goes out and Dave Roberts steals the base. Jorge Posada makes a great throw. Roberts, then Bill Miller knocks him in, ties the game, then Ortiz wins it in extra innings. Well, you're in extra innings. Who's pitching? Your
extra
bullpen.
inning twice,
right?
Where you're going
then
about 15 or so the next game.
Then the next game, the Red Sox went 8 shutout innings from their bullpen. And Ortiz won it in extra innings again. But the reason they won 4, because their bullpen had to come through. And the reason they won 5, because their bullpen gave them 8 shutout innings, is because he said, give me the ball, don't take me out, don't bring anybody else in. What kind of guy does that? What kind of guy does not care about his personal statistics? And says, just look out. He said, we need me to do this.
Yes.
That was Tim Wakefield.
Yeah.
And of course, he was on the 2007 World Series team. And his knuckleball, one of the best ever. Charlie Huff, great. Hoyt Wilhelm, great. Phil and Joe Niekro, both great knuckleball pitchers. All right. But Wakefield was among the best. The movement of it was just tremendous. And it all started in Pittsburgh because they saw something. And let's give a lot of credit to what the Pirates did in converting him.
Yes.
And then, and by the way, it wasn't one of those deals where the Pirates like, oh, they gave up on him too soon. No. Come on, that's not the way it is. He was going along in Pittsburgh and he got off to a great start with them. But the problem is he ran into a rut. I mean, he goes 8-1 in 1992. Well, he goes 6-11 in 93 with a 5.61 ERA. I pulled up the stats here, and he made 20 starts, 24 appearances. Actually had a couple of shutouts, but then he didn't play it, and then in 94 he didn't play at all. Well, then he goes to the Red Sox, 16-8, 14-11. He went 12-15, 17-8 in 98. And a couple of tough years back-to-back in 99, 2000, and 2001. There's 3 years in a row. It's like, okay. Now, 2001, he was under 500, but he was 3.90 ERA. It was a mix between starting and being in the bullpen. But then 2003 goes 11-7. 2004 goes 12-10. 2005 goes 16-12. 17-game winner in 2007 when he wins it, when they win it again. And this guy, is he going to the Hall of Fame? No. But you know what he was? He was a 200-game winner. Exactly, 200 in his career. 200-game winner in his career. Off the field, they will all tell you, off the field, he, gave a lot of his time to charities. Everybody will tell you over and over again what he meant. By the way, against the Braves in 92, he went 2-0. He was postseason 5-7, 2-0 in the NLCS. All right. He was 3-3 in the American League Championship Series.
Yeah.
And by the way, it didn't bother you if he was at the plate. The guy, a converted outfielder, he could hit. Wasn't like he couldn't hit. He could, but
hey, you look at pitchers that hit at that era. Wakefield and Mike Hampton were two that came to mind immediately.
Oh, Hampton was a great hitter.
He was unbelievable.
He was a great hitter.
Yeah, I think that.
But look, everybody will tell you off the field,
incredible.
Prince, clubhouse, Prince, on the mound, a lot of guts. And the Red Sox won in 4-7, and he was one of the reasons why.
Absolutely, and there's no question about it. And
he ate up a lot of innings.
Yeah, yep,
because of that knuckleball. And remember, he's the one that gave up the home run to Aaron Boone in Game 7.
Yeah,
and there was a moment. The Red Sox come all the way back, and they beat the Yankees. And, Game 7, they clobbered the Yankees. And I'd said remember, my brother's a huge Yankees fan. And going into the game, we talked that day, and he says, what do you think tonight? He says, Kev, I said, it's the first time in my entire life where I know they're not going to lose the game. Really? I said, they're not going to lose tonight. I said, they may crush this team. And they did. They went out right away, and Johnny Damon
hit the
grand slam. I think this is after Ortiz hit a 2-run homer. All right,
yeah, because it was 2-0, and then it became 6. Yep, it did.
Well, Wakefield did not pitch in the game. But when the game was over, Trot Nixon and a couple of the other Red Sox took Wakefield out to the pitcher's mound at Yankee Stadium. They looked at him, he said, because of what you did in this series, he said, we wanted to stand out here with you on this mound 1 year later and have you feel what victory feels like. He says, because you earned it. That's how highly they thought of him.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
And Tom Werner, who's the chairman of the Red Sox, said it's one thing to be an outstanding athlete. It's another thing to be an extraordinary human being. Tim was both. I know the world was made better because he was in it. And that's what everybody says. Like, great athlete. Look, the guy was an outfielder. He may not have been on his way to making the majors as an outfielder. Right. That's why they converted him to a pitcher.
Sure.
I just saw David Carpenter how many times this summer, who's managing West Virginia. Carp was a catcher here. His bat was okay, but he's a good catcher. Well, the Cardinals converted him to a relief pitcher, and he made over 200 appearances in his career in the majors. Braves, Astros, did really well. So you find your niche. He did that. And he won 186 games in his career with the Red Sox. You want to know the only two names in front of him on the all-time Boston Red Sox win list happen to be?
Roger Clemens is definitely one.
That's one.
Red Sox.
This will be this. You probably won't be able to get the Cy Young.
Cy Young. I was literally thinking Cy Young or Babe.
Cy Young. And Roger Clemens.
Literally thinking that.
And let's keep it in Pittsburgh. Tim Wakefield won the Roberto Clemente Award for sportsmanship and community involvement. He was the team's first Jimmy Fund captain. He visited patients, raising funds for the Childhood Cancer Charity, and was the honorary chairman of the Red Sox Foundation. All right. And the Pirates said, hey, look, great man, dearly missed.
Yeah. And that's...
Again, you can't put a price on a guy like that, and that's why he was beloved.
Right.
And if he'd been in Pittsburgh longer, I know they loved him there, but it was a short time. It was 2 years. Would have been beloved.
Yes.
Because Pittsburgh's a loving, giving community.
And I think the other thing, as bizarre as it is to say, is how someone fights for their life is another way you judge their character too. Not once, and I say this about our old news director, sports director, the late Pat Boland. Absolutely, not once do I hear the words "why me." They literally just completely just battle, and not only they leave a legacy, they leave a lot of things behind that you look up to and you understand the impact, and how they fight is what to me is unbelievable. And I go back to Stu Scott's ESPY Awards saying how you beat cancer.
Right.
You die, it doesn't mean you lose to it. You beat it by how you live, the way you live, the manner in which you live, and that's absolutely just 1,000% spot on. And Tim Wakefield was the same exact way.
By the way, Pirate fans, Game 6, Pirates down 3-2, 1992 playoff. Who pitched a complete game?
Yep.
Tim Wakefield for your Pirates team. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, they lost the next day.
Heartbreaker in so many ways.
Right. No.
Draybeck pitched a gem in that game.
I totally understand the heartbreak part of it, but Tim Wakefield, when you needed a complete game.
In Atlanta.
Right, on the road.
Did it. Yep.
He did it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back tomorrow. Are you in all week? Or?
That's the rumor.
Oh. I finally get a bye week, and I get this, just like the water drips on my forehead. What's the Monday night game tonight? It's Giants and
Seahawks. Yep.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't sound.
No, it doesn't sound good, especially Barkley out. Doesn't sound good at all.
Did you see Thursday?
Yeah, that's ugly.
It's Washington and Chicago.
It's ugly.
Hey, man.
Oh, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to have a game like that, have it on Thursday night. I will say that. You don't want it on Monday night or Sunday night.
Man, Al is going to have to.
Al, you will.
Al might fly in the day of the game.
He will.
Oh, man. But the Sunday night game is the Cowboys and your 49ers.
That is going to be a big one.
That will be a doozy.
That is going to be a big one. Dan Quinn had one of the best game plans you could have on Brock Purdy last year. I thought it was phenomenal, and that defense was not the reason the Cowboys lost that playoff game. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. All right.